So Virat Kohli, when he was playing cricket, in the initial phase, 2014 phase, when he went into England, so what happened was that was a phase where he was making a lot of single-digit scores actually. That was a continuous process that happened. So what did England do to get Virat Kohli during that period was...
Now there's two things in sales. One is like meeting in person. The other thing is talking over a call and but talking over a call, building a trust and gaining their it's a very big task.
From 33 backlogs to Zoho to PayPal to US.
That is the impact that we are making.
If you are genuine, if you are delivering the right content to the right audience, word of mouth works like anything.
Welcome to another episode of GUVI Podcast. We are in talks with Mr. Deepak, Associate Vice President from GUVI, and Head of Sales and Business Development, Mr. Gowtham. So while we were discussing much more about your, experiences and your, how did you get into sales, business development in previous episode, I would like to start with, do written techniques in sale actually work? Do you follow any such, techniques?
So in terms of, for me, it's more about, as I told you, building the process. Once we onboard any person in terms of, a team member, what we do is, we do an extensive period of 14 days of training where each and every leaders would meet them in person, have an interaction with them, and what is the process that they follow, how they've built it. It's kind of giving them an overall process on what has to be done. And we have an extensive process on the technical aspects as well. Because we got to be very good on the technical aspect in terms of how they promote, because they are the people who are promoting us. They are the people who, have a first impact on the students that they face with. Yeah. As I told you, we have regular trainings weekly twice actually. No other, in our current industry, nobody has that kind of a model where 2 days of training is there on Tuesdays and Thursdays. On Saturdays, we have a model where we do something called SWOT analysis for these employees.
Wow, okay.
So what happens is, this builds in the process. Because ultimately, you writing down is very important. And you listening to what you've spoken before is also important. So we kind of build a process that makes the process easier for them to take it forward. Because ultimately, we have built the system in such a way that anybody can listen to anybody's calls and learn from that and implement it actually.
Yeah, because that's a very open process that happens, right? Because that helps everybody to actually develop themselves as well. And when you said when people will be listening to their own,
Correct.
trainings and other things, that would make them realize, and there is, maybe new age term called self-realization or something where you can self-reflect as well on what you have been doing and what you can do as well. And you were about to say that, Gowtham, yes.
Written techniques plays a role, but not all the time. So we should be focusing on the customization as per each and every individual's requirement. So this plays a vital role because, every individual's requirement differ, everyone's expectation differs. Yeah. So we will have to make accordingly, the changes, and we will have to replicate in all call pitches. Yeah. This is one thing that, I would suggest. Yes, obviously, a written technique is essential for a beginner. But eventually, if you'll have to climb the ladder, you will have to be unique and you will have to stand out of the crowd. You have to understand and tailor the, pitch. That is how the customization has to be done.
Yeah. So when Gowtham was saying that, is that really true in all aspects, not only for business development and sales, right? When someone comes in, especially freshers, are there any valuable lessons that, senior management or even, people who are existing in the field learn from them? Is that true? Does that really exist at all?
The philosophy that I have basically is to make sure that if you don't grow yourself, you're going back actually. So in that case, I'm a strong believer that, my managers also have the same kind of mindset where we go for a lot of events and a lot of learnings that we do. Like recently, I went for a lot of, programs from IIMs and So the learning that you get there, 5 days of learning that you go there and sit there and you think a lot. Because what you have been doing for 365 days, you go and sit in a different place where the environment changes, and the learning that you get there is huge actually. So that's what I recommend for all the people, because ultimately, let's say, to give you an example, I'll give you a cricket example. Because ultimately, the learning should be everywhere, right? In terms of, you take any field that you take, let's say, for example, we'll get into Virat Kohli. So Virat Kohli, when he was playing cricket, in the initial phase, 2014 phase, when he went into England, so what happened was, that was a phase where he was making a lot of single-digit scores actually. That was a continuous process that happened. So what did England do to get Virat Kohli during that period was, the data science is everywhere, right? So what they did was, when Virat Kohli enters the ground, and if he plays the third ball that he plays, should be outside off stump. If you do that, automatically he nicks it and gives it to the slips and he goes off actually. That's the learning that they had, and that's what they've implemented. And what Virat Kohli did was, and he had the data scientists with an Indian team as well. So he found out that, that is happening, so I need to leave a lot of balls. So if you don't learn, people are, continuously there to focus you and get you down basically. So that kind of a learning process that you have to build. And we believe in a process called 1% every single day. So you learn every single day something, some concept for 20 minutes, and it becomes a habit. And ultimately, at the end of the year, you become a genius in that particular field. That's what we strongly believe on actually.
While we are talking about, professional, building up and everything and the techniques as well, right? Do you think, there is a process to acquire a prospect, and what would be that process, if you could?
Now, there's two things in sales. One is like meeting in person. The other thing is, talking over a call and, but talking over a call, building a trust and gaining their, it's a very big task. It's really a difficult task. So, we'll have to make them rely on us. We'll have to build that trust. So to build that trust, we'll have to be very strong with the product, the knowledge, even though you're a salesperson, the expectation from the, end user or the...
It will differ,
Yeah, it's going to be sky high. So we will have to keep on updating ourselves, both in terms of technical side as well as the product side. So, this is one thing which is very essential. And second thing, we will have to tailor the pitch accordingly as per their requirement. As I've told you in the previous question.
Yeah.
Yes. So this is one thing which is also essential, because if we are not ready to listen, and if we are giving us answer or a solution which is not even relevant to his question, ultimately we are going to lose a very potential lead over there, which should never happen. Active listening and a relatable solution is what a key thing that should be highlighted.
There was a hint of psychology as well in that, right? Because when you say like active listening as well as, giving relevant solution, that also has a little bit of psychology in it, right? So when you talk about sales, does really psychology get involved as well? Is that a very essential part in, business development and selling?
Coming into the technical aspects, in terms of, as a human, we have two brains, right? Right brain and the left brain. So ultimately what happens is, when you're speaking to anybody, there's something called neuro-marketing that's happening in the current world, because it's an old age, process that they follow. Maybe it's been, 4 years or 5 years in the system, but the implementation is very low in different segments. So, but according to me, it's more about neuro-marketing or neuro-sales is more about understanding the right-brained people and the left-brained people, because right-brained people is more about, they want kind of a success stories, testimonials, and how people have succeeded, what is that help them to succeed and stuff like that. Left-brained is more about the data. They always speak about the data. What is there? What is in for me? What are the percentage? That is what they want actually. It's a cumulative process of doing that. Along with that kind of an aspect, you got to include something called, dopamine rush. There's something called serotonin. These are neurochemicals which we have in our body. So ultimately, normally what happens, what activates them is when you appreciate somebody, when you make them feel important, when you make them feel respected, which is not happening in our society now. We live in a completely cynical, kind of a system where what happens here is a lot of negativity is spreading around. You want to do something, you want to achieve something, your neighbor would say, no, don't do that, you're going to fail in that basically. Yeah. But if you have a conversation, for me, as I told you, it's more about dating, right? Yeah. So in terms of my concept is, if the person other side is making them feel important, feel them respected, you understand what is the pain that they are going, and you give them this product as the solution. And that too, the best part here is it should be genuine. Don't fake it out. If you fake it out, people will be able to understand that. So if you have a genuine care for what they're going to invest, and that mindset is there in the people, they'll definitely be there for you. And ultimately, once they come on board, it's our duty and responsibility to fulfill that as well. So that's what our other teams are doing.
Of course. So when you spoke about how fulfilling a customer's wish or a client's wish, right? And you also said like don't fake it; it should be genuine.
Okay.
So when you fake it and it should be actually genuine, on that terms, does word of mouth marketing still working?
Yes, for sure. I would say 100% because you can even have a conversation for 2 hours or 2.5 hours to a prospect. End of the day, the sale might get flipped.
Yeah, true. Yeah, it happens, right?
You see, you walk into any car showroom for that matter, that one executive is going to spend around 3 to 4 hours with you.
Yeah.
But end of the day, you are going to get an opinion from your friend.
Yeah.
All right?
True. Oh, yeah.
So
classic example. Yes.
Whatever your friend says, that is going to be your final decision. That is going to be your mantra. The reason why you are convinced with your friend's opinion is because you trust your friend.
Yeah.
You trust your friend more than this executive. Because this friend has exposure. This one friend has experienced this product. This one friend can give you the actual and genuine opinion of that product. All right. And that is why word of mouth is a very powerful tool when it comes to sales or any organization for that matter. And you can achieve this by delivering what you're promising. And just like, Vipi said, if you are genuine, if you are delivering the right content to the right audience, word of mouth works like anything. It works like crazy.
Usually when any organization or any company or any business start, as you said, word of mouth is really important. But for a very big company, say for example, take GUVI itself, we are, nearly like 800 to 900 people organization. When we say that, right, we are huge. So even does GUVI or, kind of organization like this who have grown to this level, do we also need word of mouth marketing as well? Is that necessary as well?
According to me, word of mouth is more about we not forcing our students to, or anybody for that matter, let's say for example, any product for that matter, it's about they genuine having a feeling that this product is good for me. I'm going to recommend it for a lot of students and I'm going to have an impact, because I can give you a kind of lots of, like real life scenarios where I've had a kind of a professor who joined our program basically. So when he joined our program, he was having 7 years of experience. He was working as a professor in a university and his earning was only 2 lakhs per annum.
Wow.
So 2 lakhs per annum, which is basically only 10,000 to 12,000, having 7 years of experience. And he had his family members to take care. Because let's say, for example, he's having father, mother, and he has 2 brother and sister to take care. But he's earning only 12,000 per month, which we felt that we need to make an impact on his life. So what we did is we took him on board and he came and joined us. Basically, he was in the second batch, I believe. So from that particular period of, he joining us, the dedication that he put in is huge. He would be as I told you, be the first person to get into the office and the last person to get out of the office. Like same thing that he did for learning. So what happened is from 2 lakhs, he was able to jump to 7 lakhs basically within over a span of around 4 to 5 months. And the journey that he has had is, he's not only impacted his own, well-being, his entire family is being taken care. And now he's getting married next month and he's come and invited Arun sir for his wedding. So these are stories which make us feel impacted. And these people, what had happened now is, he has, recommended his entire students who are studying in college to join GUVI. That is word of mouth that we wanted to make an impact. Because ultimately, it's not about pushing somebody to give a word of mouth. It's about making an impact on their life and they giving a word of mouth and impacting other 50 students. Now our duty and responsibility is to impact those 50 students who are coming onboarded for us, and we have to make an impact on their lives. That is, I believe, word of mouth is all about.
Wow. So that's a very, very existing example that we have on word of mouth and how it can impact, have a huge impact on a company and a business, right? So while we are talking about all of these things, it does not, feel or be easy, right? So what are the challenges that any business development or sales professionals face in the field or as a community? I would ask, not only in any other industry, but especially in edtech, what are the things that you guys face?
So one thing that when it comes to sales, one thing that I really have to address here is this is not going to be an easy job role. It takes a lot of courage and it takes a lot of challenges. Each and every day is going to be a new day for you. Each and every day you are going to face a new challenge. So you'll have to be well prepared for that mentally as well as emotionally and physically too.
Yeah, of course, yes.
So, in all these aspects, when we look into any other job roles, it is not going to be that challenging. But when someone looks from the outside, it's just sales. It is never just sales.
Never that.
Yes, it is never just sales. It's a very challenging and it's also a very promising job role. So now you take any grown MNC for that matter, the top level position, the CEOs, such kind of positions, probably those guys might be from a sales background.
Yeah.
Because these people look into the facts.
Yeah.
Okay, a salesperson that's one quality each and every salesperson would look into. They look into the facts and they work on that emotional aspects that can eventually, convert as a sale. And that is one common thing that people outside don't really think about sales. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you're talking about, most of the CEOs being sales, right? Is that true that, if you want to be in that top position, you have to know selling? Is that true?
To be frank, it's more about developing, and I strongly believe in that. As I told to, it's more about sales will develop you as a person. I'm a strong believer that, let's say for example, there's a Japanese proverb which says fall 7 times and get up the 8th time. You got it right. So in that case, sales is all about the life lessons that you're going to get, and to develop that is very easy. To be frank, our own Arun sir is there, and he's completely out and out, in terms of technology person. But now he's developed himself as a person who he can easily beat any salesperson here and, in our sales team actually. So that's the kind of development that he has made, and that's the kind of impact that he's making. Because ultimately, and according to him and according to me, sales is not sales. It's about impacting and having a, conversation with the students and taking it forward. That can be developed very easily.
Okay. Right. So when we were talking about, how it can be easy as well as challenging at the same time, right? What is the stigma that is the stigma that a salesperson or a business development person, say, for their job role, as we spoke about in previous episodes, right? Be it a business development executive, a sales representative, or anyone, is the stigma of how they should look still exist?
According to me, it's more about how you present yourself. Like whatever is comfortable for you, you can, take it forward with that comfortably. Like what you wear or how do you represent yourself is more about how confident you are in front of presenting. That's the only thing. I don't believe that how you look or how do you thing is not an impact. But how do you present yourself, how knowledgeable you are, and how you can present yourself, that's the only thing that matters.
I truly, agree with all the words. Stereotyping people based on their appearance, that still exists. But, when it comes to sale, it doesn't matter. You should never stop learning. So ultimately, that is what I'll have to, make a statement of. So, always be in a mindset that we'll have to learn. There is something more to learn. So if you are in that mindset, and definitely you will be able to climb the ladder.
So about climbing ladders, right? So how did you climb the ladder by making your first sale? How did that feel?
So for me, as I told you, when I started off in 2019, that's like 5 years ago. So that's where Zen started, right? So in terms of Zen starting off, I had the first student whose name is Mr. Shiva. So what happened is he completely told that, sir, I'm coming from my parents are coming from an agriculture background, and my parents have spent so much of money, and to be frank, we cannot afford to. I cannot afford to not have a job once I finish off the degree. But the problem is he had around 33 backlogs. So that too is into third year, and he has 33 backlogs. He had a big struggle of completing, having a mindset of finishing off the 33 backlogs. He told, sir, I have to concentrate on this, and I need to upskill myself so that before, at least the fourth year or once I finish off maybe one more year, I need to get myself placed. So what he did was, once he came on board, one thing that we liked about him was he was really dedicated. He was really hardworking. The problem that he had was he was not able to concentrate on English. So he had backlogs not because of the technical aspect. He had backlogs because he was not able to present himself well in the exams. He was not able to write, content and stuff like that. So what we did was we took him on board. It's making sure that we are making impacts, right? So we took him on board. He was studying parallelly the 33 backlogs and how to fill it up. He was studying parallelly with us. We gave him the knowledge that is required for him to get placed actually. And this story is inspiring because not from where he was coming from, 33 backlogs, not completing degree, coming and asking us for help to get him, training and getting him placed. After finishing off his program, he got rejected in 22 companies.
Oh, that's huge to take.
Correct. During the 22 companies, what we did is we made sure that these students are, the student who's getting rejected on particular company, our team made sure that they are, giving feedbacks for each and every company on how to improve himself.
Wow. Yeah, that's a very big step, because companies usually, they will get hundreds of candidates and they wouldn't care because, they don't have time. But GUVI getting that and doing that is very, very important.
And after finishing off, 23rd company, the best part here is he got placed in Zoho for 7 lakhs.
Whoa.
So from 33 backlogs to getting placed in Zoho for 7 lakhs is a great inspiration for us to start Zen Class. And another interesting thing here is our founders are from PayPal, right? Yeah. He got another offer in PayPal for around 19 lakhs. From 7 lakhs to, after 2 years, 2.5 years, 19 lakhs in PayPal. And another interesting thing here is after he finishing off this complete thing, now he's working in US.
Whoa. From 33 backlogs to Zoho to PayPal to US.
That is the impact that we are making. And I strongly believe that these are the motivation for our team to make sure that onboarding more students, giving them more opportunities, changing a lot of lives. That is a strong belief that we have. And that is what my team is doing currently.
So, this was an amazing conversation because we were talking about, we started with, sales techniques. And we actually found out a technique that is much more needed about how to sell and how to develop a business as well, right? This is a very big takeaway in this episode. And with that, takeaway and note, we would like to conclude this episode, and we will be seeing you in next episode, diving much more deeper into business development with these two gentlemen.